We have breaking news. CNN has exclusively obtained emails sent by a lawyer with longtime ties to Rudy Giuliani to Michael Cohen, and they show a back channel being established between Donald Trump's legal team and his former fixer and lawyer, Michael Cohen. We have CNN chief political analyst Gloria Borger, who is here with her latest reporting. Tell us what these emails are all about.
Well, we've obtained two emails which contain communications from April 2018, and that was, remember, after Michael Cohen's office was raided, and they're between Michael Cohen and a lawyer named Bob Costello. And they're largely about Cohen's relationship with the White House, which Costello describes in glowing ways in this email. And one of them is, I spoke with Rudy, very, very positive, you are loved, and ends with, sleep well tonight, you have friends in high places. Now, these are part of documents that have been seen by congressional committees, but the interpretation of what's being said here and what was meant really depends on who you ask.
All right, so you talked with Costello,
right,
who wrote the email. What did he tell you about what this meant?
Well, okay, so let me start with Michael Cohen sympathizers, okay?
Yeah.
Michael Cohen sympathizers say this is proof that a pardon was dangled in front of him. They say this is an attorney with close ties to Rudy Giuliani, who, by the way, just joined the president's legal team days before. So they say, just look at this evidence, and he was dangling this pardon in not so many words because, as we point out in our piece, the word pardon was never actually used. But I did talk to Robert Costello last night, and he called that explanation, and I'm quoting here, utter nonsense. And he said that what he was doing was trying to smooth out a troubled relationship between the president and Michael Cohen and vice versa. So the question is, was it about a pardon or was it about fixing this relationship, which he says Michael Cohen was very worried about?
The you have friends in high places is the thing that kind of catches me up and doesn't quite fit with that narrative there. But nonetheless, so this isn't the only email. There's others. And there was ongoing communication between Costello and Cohen.
Well, we don't know what Cohen's responses were, if any, to these emails. I should tell you that. But in another email, it says, from Costello to Michael Cohen, I just spoke to Rudy Giuliani and told him I was on your team. He asked me to tell you that he knows how tough this is on you and your family, and he will make sure to tell the president. He said, thank you for opening this back channel of communication and asked me to keep in touch. Again, Costello says this was all part of this effort to rebuild this relationship between Cohen and the president. And remember, at this time, they were part of a joint defense agreement. So there was an interest in keeping happiness in the family. But a source with knowledge of Cohen's thinking differs and said that this outreach was just a ploy to keep Michael Cohen in the tent, in the fold, and to keep saying what he was saying to protect the president. And remember, it wasn't until June of 2018. These emails were in April. So it wasn't until June of 2018 that the Joint Defense Agreement dissolved. And on July 2nd, that was when Michael Cohen declared his independence from Donald Trump.
All was not well in the family at that point. All right.
No.
What is Rudy Giuliani saying about these emails and his role?
Well, Rudy spoke with our friend and colleague Dana Bash also last night, and he echoes, not surprisingly, what Costello was saying, that this was about Michael Cohen thinking that the president was mad at him and that he wanted to make sure things were going to be okay. And so Rudy says that he called Costello to reassure him that the president was not mad. And it wasn't long after the raid, and he said, Rudy told Dana Bash, that he said the president felt bad for him. No longer.
All right, CNN legal analyst Carrie Cordero is with us. What do you make of this when you see this? Do you buy that this was just Michael Cohen making sure the president wasn't mad at him, or do you see that this is Michael Cohen discussing the possibility of some sort of protection, i.e., e.g. a pardon?
There's a lot to unpack in the emails that Gloria just described. But my initial reaction is that at this point, if this was taking place, these communications were taking place after Michael Cohen's office, home was searched, devices were taken, all the information that he had. Clearly, this is about more than personal relationships. This is about legal jeopardy at that point for all of them. And so it would have been in President Trump's interests and his legal interests to keep in communication with Michael Cohen and to know what he was going to do. So there was a legal interest on the part of the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, for understanding or having some insight or window into what Michael Cohen would have been going to do.
It says this, ending with, "Sleep well tonight. You have friends in high places."
Right. And so there's language that's used that is allusions to what that person in high places.
You have protection. Isn't that what that says?
What his authority was, right? So this isn't just about a friend or a former colleague. This is about a person who is the president of the United States who has the official responsibility and authority to grant pardons in federal cases. And Michael Cohen was the subject of a federal case that affected him.
Although they had raided his office and home and he might have been worried about it, I would presume he was. But at that point, what he knew about definitively was a potential campaign finance violation. So he didn't have the whole thing laid out before him yet of what he might be culpable, right, for.
Sure, and the campaign finance violation being the one charge of Michael Cohen's that implicated the president most directly. So it's understandable why the president's personal lawyer would want to at least make Michael Cohen think that they were open to hearing from him and open to some type of communication.
Yeah, very interesting. Carrie Cordero. Gloria Borger, great reporting. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.